say bye-bye.
30, 60, 130, quarter mile.
But this is Dave's, what, 2018 Turbo S?
2018 911 Turbo S.
Okay, so this is a pretty expensive car, as some would say. It's the best Porsche in a straight line. One of the best. Is that?
When it was made, it was. I think the GT2s can probably take it now.
Okay.
But yeah, used to be. The new generation 992s are faster than this though. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm already slow.
That's the way.
Horsepower.
So 650 horse.
That's a guess. I haven't dynoed it, but they say 580, which is pretty conservative from the factory. So it's really more like 600, and you know, at the crank, of course. And then I do have a aftermarket exhaust, this catless titanium exhaust, and I've got a Cobb tune on that. So I'm guessing I'm probably running about 650 horse here.
At the crank.
At the crank.
At the crank. All right. So you talked about a titanium exhaust. Now I've seen it. I've gotten down and looked at it. We'll show you guys.
Yeah, this
Hopefully.
is Boost Logic from Austin, Texas.
Woo!
And yeah, it's a titanium race exhaust. That's catless, no muffler. It weighs 18 pounds, I think. And from the factory, the system was, I think, 48 pounds.
So you lost
It's like 30
pounds?
Yeah, it's like 30 pounds lighter.
60% of the weight, 70% of the weight almost.
And it sounds like a lot better. If you know Porsches, these things sound kind of like a vacuum cleaner from the factory, or maybe a blender. They sound terrible, but unmuffled, they come to life a little bit.
Okay.
Should we talk about the aftermarket parts here?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm zooming in on this carbon fiber here, so you tell me about
that's not factory, that's aftermarket.
This wing is aftermarket?
Yeah, this top piece is. The rest of it is factory, but this top piece was gloss black from the factory. I got a carbon fiber piece, and same with the engine cover and air intake here. This is the air intake for the engine. This was gloss black from the factory, and I got a carbon fiber piece just to trick it up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks good. And maybe a little bit lighter, but that's whatever. Ounces maybe.
Probably, but it was really just for aesthetics,
The looks.
honestly. You know, I like carbon fiber. I'm in the aerospace business. These were darkened as well. They were red from the factory, and I had them darkened when I had the.
Is that just a film they put on there?
This was actually a paint applique. It was a liquid application. Yeah.
So do they pop them off to do that? You know, or
They sure did. Yeah.
Wow.
They removed them and they painted them and then put them back on.
Wow.
You can see I got the carbon fiber over here too. This was gloss black from the factory, and I did a carbon fiber. That's an intercooler intake there. Fun fact, pretty much every 911 except I think the GT3 RS, if you see a hole right here on the side of the car, that means it's a 911 turbo, because there's twin intercoolers, and this is what feeds the intercooler air.
I got you. One each side then?
Yeah, one each side.
Carbon fiber
by the
door
way,
handles.
the engine, right? We should talk about that, because that's special. Can
we pop it and see it, or is it?
Bro, there's nothing to see. I mean,
it's just plastic.
Honestly, yeah. Here we can.
We can.
Yeah, it's not at all pretty. It's just coke.
Oh wow, that's
it.
Woo.
That's the air intake, and these are cooling outlet fans.
Not much to it.
3.8 liter flat six, so it's a horizontally opposed 6-cylinder, twin turbo, twin intercooled. It runs about 20 psi boost when I'm up on max.
Okay, and what you know what that is from the factory, or is
that's from the factory.
Really?
Run it up to 20 psi. Yeah. When you've got it on sport mode over boost, basically, it'll allow it to run up to 1.2 bar or something.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Impressive.
1.5 bar, something like that. I don't remember what the numbers is, but yeah, it'll go about 20 psi.
Cool.
So that's it. Cool. Nothing there. But the interior, actually,
So this is optioned out, right?
This was ordered to spec, yeah, and I like yellow. I like the yellow trim, so I went nuts with that. Everything I could get yellow in here, I got yellow, other than the leather. I got all the stitching, the seat
Could you get yellow leather?
The gauges. You know what? You could probably make them do that if you wanted, because they'll do paint to match and things for you, obviously for a price. That's my Cobb right there. I've got up on the gauge.
Oh yeah, I see that.
There, I run the. I think I've got turbo RPM on the gauge right now.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully it didn't look like it was focusing, but hopefully I got some of it.
Yeah. So turbo Aero Kit. This is one of the two big options on this car, okay? And I did get this one. It was quite expensive. I think this option was over $7,000 by itself.
Oh my gosh.
And what it entailed was, it entails these winglets on
Okay.
the front right here, this part, and then it has a winglet on the rear wing too. There's a winglet.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah, the regular non-Aero Kit turbos do not have that. It's flat like a surfboard all the way down. But yeah, the ones with the Aero Kit have that winglet there.
Okay. So that wasn't a very expensive option.
That was probably one of the most expensive options on the car, honestly. I'm trying to think if there was anything more expensive than that. Everything else was standard. It has carbon ceramics. Of course, it has a dual clutch gearbox. But all those are factory, and every turbo has a dual clutch gearbox, and every Turbo S has these carbon ceramic discs.
Gosh,
So
look at those things.
Those were all pizza-sized carbon ceramics. Those are all from the factory.
Okay. Yeah, those are massive. My hand is dwarfed by it. Is that your gas tank?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Fill up in the passenger
tanks
side.
up front. Yeah, so yeah, the fill port's right there. Yeah, actually, good point. Yeah, a lot of people. I'm pumping gas, and they're kind of like, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your trunk look like? Is it tiny? Can you fit a pair of golf clubs in there?
You know what? It's bigger than the old one. I had a 996, right? My first one was a 996.
Was it what year was that?
It was an 05.
05.
2005. It was a 996 Turbo S, and it was much smaller than this.
And it had an Aero something in it too, right? It had some rear option.
You could almost fit in there. Ashley could fit in there. You probably wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe. No golf clubs though.
You like my license plate?
Yeah, I got you. Dude, no one mounts a front.
So legally compliant.
No one mounts a front license plate.
But
All
that's
right.
it. Yeah, there's a couple of fluid gauges of batteries actually up under there. I think.
Steel, aluminum.
I think it's metal. What the hell is that doing in my car?
So almost all of the mechanical stuff's hidden behind something. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's all covered up and hidden. It's not on display like it is in a Lambo or Ferrari. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so we went over some of the details specific to this car. I know I have a video of me launching it, and it just absolutely was mind-blowing. So performance-wise, is this the fastest, most exciting thing you've driven?
It is. It is special when you use that PDK launch.
And we say bye-bye.
30. 60. 130. Quarter mile.
Porsche has done some really good work in tuning that and making it hook up. I'm not going to say it's the best launching vehicle in the world, but it's got to be right up there. McLaren 720S is a pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But it's right up there with them. And there aren't a whole lot of cars, even with at only 650 horsepower. There aren't a lot of cars on the road that can hang with this up to about 70 or 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
My from the factory, my 60 to 130 time was in the mid 7 seconds, and then after I did the mods and everything, I'm back down into the mid to low 6 seconds.
Oh wow, cut a whole
60
second off then.
60 to 130. Yeah.
Wow.
So it did make a difference on that performance-wise when I did the mod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell me how you got into Porsches then. This should have been the first thing I asked, but
okay, yeah.
but you know what?
Yeah,
Whatever.
I was actually born in Orange County, California, in the city of Orange, and I only lived out there for a little time till I was about 4 or 5 years old. But the whole reason I was born out there is because my dad was going to school out there, and he was originally from Louisiana, but he was going to college out there, and I was born while he was out there. Well, while he was out there, he owned some cool cars. He owned a C1 Vet. He owned a Porsche 356, okay, Speedster. And so he had some cool cars while he was out there. He was big into Porsches, and so he used to always talk about Porsches a lot. And we moved back to Arkansas when I was a kid. And when I was about 9 or 10, we were in the town of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and I saw my first 911 Turbo. And it was one of those big wide bodies with the whale tail.
And do you know what year this was about?
Man, it had to have been
80s, 90s?
80s? Early 80s, yeah, it had to have been early 80s. And this thing blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was the most radical car I'd ever seen in my life, and I really fell in love with it, even at a little age like that as a little kid. And anyway, I always wanted a 911 Turbo, and when I was in my 40s, I finally reached a time in my life where I could actually get one, and so I did.
You bought that, yeah.
Here it is. I spec'd this one out. My son helped me spec it. and order it. And
So just to be clear, this is the second Turbo S you've had. The first one was the, what did you say, 996?
yeah, the first one was a 990. It was an 05 Turbo S, and
Okay.
I bought it from a banker in Austin. And it was a lovely car. It would kill you a lot faster than this one would, honestly, even though it was slower. Yeah, this one with all the controls and the electronics
Yeah.
is a lot more stable.
Helps out a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, cool. Thanks for sharing, Dave. Hopefully we'll get some sound clips and stuff thrown in there at some time. But yeah,
All right.
appreciate it.
Good. Yeah.